Hello and welcome to Michael's Minty Music for today. Today we review Duran Duran's 2010 album, All You Need Is Now. It's alright. There's some pretty good songs here, but most of them are just kind of fine. So this is the track listing, and these are the tracks I added to my playlist, 4 out of 14, so about a third here. This album is alright overall, but most of the tracks simply fall short in what they're trying to accomplish. The opening couple of tracks aren't bad, but they definitely aren't impressive. The title track's alright, and it sets the tone for the album well, but in general, these songs are just a little bit subpar. They're a little too safe when they need to be experimental, and they're a little bit too experimental when they should just do what they've been doing. So, the good songs here, though, are really good. Girl Panic, Other People's Lives, and Runaway are all great kind of rock tracks, pop rock tracks. They're not particularly innovative or anything, but, you know, they work well. If they really just honed in on that sound, the album, I think, would be a lot more consistent in its quality. But at the same time, it might be a little bit boring. The album actually flows pretty well, especially when you consider that most of the tracks are not great. The opening is slow to medium speed, which eventually leads into the back half, which is more upbeat, but still kind of in the medium speed range. Really helping things along here are two pretty decent transition tracks. Seventh one, A Diamond in the Mind, and Return to Now, second to last track, which keep the album moving even though, you know, they aren't outstanding pieces of music on their own. Overall, this album comes together a lot better than it deserves to, so even the fact that most of this album isn't great, it really does come together in a way that makes it alright. There was only one single released before the album, the opening title track. My favorite song here is probably Runaway. Although it was a close contest, all the good songs here are of a similar level of quality, and they all kind of sound pretty similar. They clearly had a song that they were good at, and the rest of them they were not as good at. I ranked this album 12th out of Duran Duran's 16 albums, below 2015's Paper Gods and above 1997's Medazzaland. This album is basically the last decent album in their catalog. Everything below this album is definitely not good. Most of the stuff above it is pretty much higher quality. Definitely everything above the Wedding album. All You Need Is Now comes together slightly better than Paper Gods, but Paper Gods definitely has a higher level of quality overall, so it beats out All You Need. But it's close. These two albums are definitely kind of in the same range of quality. Additionally, this album doesn't take my top spot from 2010. That goes to Sarah Bareilles' Kaleidoscope Heart, which is definitely better than All You Need Is Now. In terms of level of quality, even in terms of coming together as an album, that one's better. Next up is Talking Heads' debut album, released in 1977 and called Talking Heads 77, which is great. Debuts are always pretty interesting, so I'd love to see how that sounds. So stay tuned for that, and as always, stay minty.